Hello friends. Today I'm going to talk about the ingenious technologies and inventions that have been banned in Formula One, which I have followed every race. And I know that many of you have followed. Guys, those of you who follow Formula One races know there are beautiful innovations that these teams have made over the years, ingenious ideas, and efforts to find a way to overcome the rules. Over the years, many different teams have managed to dominate their own races in years by overcoming the rules. Of course, as a result of overcoming and dominating these rules, most of these inventions have been banned by Formula One. The technology I will mention first is a technology called X-Wing. But before we come to this X-Wing period, we need to talk about the High Wing period that Lotus started in 1968, and then all the teams continued to follow it. Wing technology is perhaps one of the most important technologies and one of the most important inventions in Formula, one that allows the car to step on the ground and take bends at these high speeds. This is not the genius part in the section that I will mention as genius technology, because another name given to these high wings and front wings later became guillotine. These wings were not supported by very solid structures. They are also banned by the FIA International Automobile Federation for being too high, being light, and starting to turn into technologies that break down and either sever the head of the pilot of their car or sever the head of one of the pilots in the back. Therefore, one of the teams that could not risk connecting a huge wing with two rods and breaking it to save weight, the F1 team called Tyrrell, ingeniously reused the wings from the previous year's vehicles in 1997, placing two wings on the right and left side of the pilot. They also connected it firmly to the chassis and kept it low from the maximum height. Thus, they have made a system that complies with all the rules in the book and has improved the ground force of the vehicle in this way. While the standard rear wing of the car presses back and presses forward on the wings on the front nose, these added side wings look ugly, but they also start to press the car to the ground in the middle, and thus it begins to gain a serious advantage in cornering. On top of this advantage, other teams are starting to adopt these wings, the biggest example of which is Ferrari. If Ferrari copies something, it usually means that the technology is already good. When many teams started copying it, the FIA came to the conclusion that this technology was not safe after 1998, and banned this technology as well. I will mention second technology is described as a wing vibration dampener, and in 2005 the Renault F1 team entered our list by adding a vibration damper by connecting a spring, weight, and a damper to their front wings. This is actually a very basic principle in physics, but it was the first time an F1 team was gaining a serious advantage by using this technology, and it was absolutely legal. A similar one is actually used in skyscrapers today. To prevent the skyscraper from shaking during an earthquake or during the wind, a weight is put in it, in the same way that this weight is allowed to shake. F1 also banned this technology because it provided a serious advantage in the Renault car and in the races in 2006, because the difference between the teams was starting to open up terribly. The third technology we will talk about is a technology that passes as the F-duct. As I mentioned earlier, the importance of the wing is very big in F1, and the wings are usually the factor that determines whether the car will be the champion or the last. In Formula One, according to the FIA rules in 2010, it was forbidden to use any active elements on the wings. You could not electronically change the angle of the wings, and you could not open and close the wings. But McLaren found an opening in the rules and put an air inlet in the front of his car. At first, they said that this air inlet was put in purely to cool the electronics and wanted to prevent other teams from stealing it. But later, it became clear that this air tunnel was completely regulating the air going to the rear wings of the vehicles. Since the pilot did not use his left knee on the straights, he could disrupt the flow of air going to the rear by closing this opening with his left knee. When this flow was disrupted, the air friction of the vehicle decreased along with the ground force, as it was as if the wing had been eliminated in a kind of weight. Therefore, on the straights, the pilot was providing a serious advantage by putting his knee there, reducing the air friction of the vehicle. This is how the McLaren team began to dominate all the races. In the following period, all teams began to apply similar air ducts and similar technologies that will change the air going to the rear wing. That is, until Ferrari took it one step further, after Fernando Alonso was seen closing an opening with his left hand during the race. The FIA now believes that this is a safety issue. The FIA officials thought that the pilots should have both hands on the wheel no matter what. But because Fernando Alonso closed this opening with his hand on the straights, they decided that this technology was no longer safe and eliminated this technology. Today, the same useful DRS technology drag reduction system has arrived. Now you can electronically open and close the rear wing of the vehicle under certain conditions on certain planes. But the banned technology was actually the ancestor of today. The DRS is also legal according to the rules, since the pilot turns it on and off himself, and since there are no active elements. The fourth feature, which was used until it was banned, is also a feature found by McLaren. A technology that passes as a rear brake pedal is a detail that was noticed in 1997 as a result of the installation of a hidden camera inside the McLaren cockpit. When you look at it, nowadays F1 cars have an accelerator pedal and a brake pedal to press under your foot, but in a 1997 McLaren car, the third next to the brake pedal, this was also a pedal that controlled only the rear brakes. When you press this pedal, the rear brake can be done alone, without the front brake. Thanks to this independent brake pedal and brake technology, McLaren managed to win many races that year, and Ferrari complained about it to the FIA. The McLaren engineers made a statement and said, "Ferrari, instead of racing with us technically as engineering, complained about us and banned this rule. We didn't think this was the right way, but we can't do anything about it anymore." But still controlling the rear brake they found with a separate pedal was not illegal according to the rules at that time, and it was really a clever technology. Fifth technology is a little more experimental technology in my eyes, rather than a little more genius. In 1976, the Tyrrell team again took to the track with a six-wheeled car. There were 4 wheels in the front, and 2 in the rear, and the engine powered the 2 wheels in the rear. But this idea actually settled in the minds of some teams as a seed, and after blossoming over the years, Williams introduced its 6-wheeler in 1982. This vehicle worked in such a way that there were not 4 wheels in the front, 2 wheels in the rear, but 2 wheels in the front, 4 wheels in the rear. And the car's engine powered the 4 wheels in the rear. Thanks to this, they were gaining serious handling and had a serious acceleration advantage. Of course, when you have 4 wheels in the back, even if your car is rear-wheel drive, if you are powering 4 wheels, it means 4 pulls. Therefore, FIA announced that 4-wheel drive vehicles were banned in Formula One. This 6-wheeler could not be used more by Williams, and the 6-wheeler could not be used in Formula One anymore. And the last technology I will mention is that a vehicle has appeared as a fan car, which is again one of my favorites. In the 1977-1978 seasons, Lotus had a serious advantage because it found the ground effect. What we call the ground effect was controlling the air flowing under the vehicle. This is creating a vacuum under the vehicle, and gaining a very serious cornering and ground force advantage. It did not provide any extra air friction and constituted a serious advantage. But at the race the next day, this serious advantage came to the fore, and Niki Lauda, who was driving this car at that time, finished first in this race. It has happened. When he finished the race, between him and the second, there was a 38-second difference. After this incident, the teams filed objections to F1. Formula One officials believed that when every team started to implement it, the sport could become very dangerous. Officials asked the team for the good of the sport, and this car was never used again. Nevertheless, this invention has taken its place as one of the best innovations and most ingenious inventions of Formula One. What do you guys think, according to you? Which is the best invention made perfect among them? You can write this as a comment below. At the same time, if you like the video, you can support us by clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel, and opening notifications. And then you can get access to our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.